Hi, team. Welcome to the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. Coming up, we talk about the producer live stream, and we'll finish with a little bit of spoilery discussion of the XIII story. Let's start over, because I messed that whole thing up. But we'll keep it rolling, but I will edit that out. Hi, team. Welcome to the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. Coming up, we talk about the producer live stream, and we'll finish with a little bit of spoilery discussion of XIII. But first, a couple bits of news and a shout out to our guild Alea Iacta Est on Jedi Covenant. Our broadcast astromech today is EPC 142, who will be floating around broadcasting this podcast for quite a while, at least until Mako comes back, which may be never. Where is Mako? She's still, another chapter's gone by and there's still no Mako back. I'm getting a little miffed.
We don't care about Mako though, because Torian's coming back.
Oh yes, we'll hear about that, won't we? With me as always is Seema. Hi Seema, how's it going?
Hey Max, it's going pretty well. I had fun this week spending my cartel coins. I unlocked many things. I had already bought several things, but I unlocked everything I could think of. I like the smuggler shuffle, woohoo, heel click, one hand handstand, all the chairs, credit flip, feign death, glacial ice tromper, irradiated fractal, wetlands dewback, a little cute pink vehicle called Mirror, a gamma, even a. Oh no, I actually forgot to do this one. Infected womp weasel, which is a pet. But I did have a womp rat mount. Let's see if I can find it. But yeah, so that was fun. And let's see, what else? Yes, did the chapter XIII and found that pretty fun. I enjoyed it.
Excellent.
Galt and Bet.
Well, we will talk about
that was
how
pretty adorable.
Fun it was or wasn't at the very end. So we will have a little bit of a spoilery discussion when we get to that, but it'll be at the very end. We'll give everybody notice before we get to that. And me this week, fun times with the guild, mandatory fun night, our little ops night, continued crafting, and definitely got some story time. I got that in. I did finish the Eternal Championship right before we recorded last week, but. So I did not go back to it, but I want to because now I'm hearing everybody's finishing up like the speedrun achievements, and I think I need that.
Yes, you do.
So have you done it? Well, maybe you need to do
No.
it first. Lead the way. Lead by example, Seema.
I'll follow by example.
Follow by example. So I might get into that, but it was fun going through the story. I had quite a bit of fun with it, so we'll talk about that as well. But first, we can talk about some news.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
So a couple little problems that we've been seeing. There were some problems with people entering their phase on Odessan, getting into their Odessan base, and or even playing Chapter XIII. BioWare thinks they had some solutions. They may or may not have fixed it. They probably fixed it, but if you're still having a problem, then submit a support ticket and they can get it looked at. We were also hearing reports this evening from people in our guild that there may still be some lingering issues with completion of chapters for smugglers in particular, Seema?
Yeah, well, the beginning of the thread was a bunch of smugglers sounding off, but I think it might be happening for other classes as well. But I think it's an intermittent issue.
Intermittent. Those are the best.
Oh no,
kind
this
of bugs.
sorry. My mind was on the Womp Rat. This one I think it was nothing to do with the class. The chapter 3 one was the.
Yeah, no, but I was
started off with a
saying
bunch of
what we were hearing tonight in guild chat of someone potentially having troubles completing, the regular class story, chapter 3 of their class. So
Right.
continue to
Yeah.
check those out. BioWare will get you fixed up if you need issues. What other problems were we having this week, Seema?
Also on Monday, login issues, which we don't have that often, and but they did get resolved at some point in the evening on Monday. Eric posted when they were resolved with the comment inside his post that said, "Once you're logged in, you may notice your cartel coins are missing."
Yeah.
But he said that should just fix itself eventually. I personally didn't notice any cartel coins missing because, well, I wouldn't have. I don't usually look at them right away, but
Yeah.
yeah,
But no, that would be
they're certainly not
terrifying.
missing now.
And and how would that be related? I don't know, but it's another one of those
That's
mysteries.
what's funny about it. It's just like totally, unrelated.
Oh, and by the way, the moon over Hutta may have accidentally turned pink. What? How that's related to login issues, I don't know, but your cartel coins are gone. Sorry. Some notes in the dev tracker and some discussion about the challenge that they have out there for the Eternal Championship, not explosive conflict. EC to me has always been explosive conflict. We can't use EC for Eternal Championship. We got to do like eChamp or something.
E-champ.
So for the eChamp speedrun challenge, there were some people using creatively using /stuck, I think, to get around some conversation and make things go faster and get through their speedrun more quickly and not have to listen to the dialogue. And they said, well, that's not a bannable offense. It's not like you're hacking. It's not an exploit. It is not what they intended in actually doing the Eternal Championship as a speedrun. So if you do that, you will be disqualified from the Eternal Championship speedrun contest. Otherwise, otherwise you're not going to get
And
banned
this
for it.
contest is a serious thing. I mean, the prize is a big prize.
What is the prize? I need
It's a
to
trip to London for Star Wars Celebration.
really.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Hold on, I have to go do a speed run real quick.
So yeah, this is a serious contest.
So yeah, I think people would then want to be using every advantage that they could get,
Yeah.
and cut every corner. So that's interesting. So, but still, don't cheat. Okay, cheating's bad. Okay.
There also was a rather long thread. It started out with a server transfer petition, and I guess the there's of the guilds that are left on servers that have lesser populations now. They sort of banded together and asked if the 90 cartel coin transfer could be reinstated so they could get their guilds off of these quote unquote dying servers. And there's a lot of back and forth with people saying, well, you've had a long time, but the original post is kind of thought provoking because he said he went through all the issues of why he didn't try to move his guild before now, and they thought this would happen and that would happen. And I can see where if you have a largish guild, that trying to move the whole guild would be a much bigger issue than just moving your character or your family of characters. So I kind of see both sides of it. In the middle of the thread, Ben Irving popped in and asked if a week of 90 cartel coins transfer cost would be enough for them to get their stuff in order. So I guess people are still talking back and forth about that. But of course, as soon as he did that, then someone piped in saying, well, what about me? I already did a 1K process. I mean, transfer. Do I get a refund? So I don't know. It's kind of a big mess.
Yes, as that can be. I do find it's interesting, it's just as a side note, that we're seeing more from Ben Irving in the forums and in public response.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean, it's all they need to do. He doesn't even need to come in and solve the problem, but just
yes,
that actually made a number of people responded to his one post saying, glad to see you pipe up. I'm glad to see you proof that you read this stuff. So it goes a long way.
yeah, yes, it does. At least for some people. Some people will never be happy. So
Well,
there's that
yeah.
too. He also piped up in DevTracker and talked about, which I didn't see where it got announced, but you can go and check it out and look at it. The new gear vendor that showed up on Fleet for adaptive gear. Simo was just checking it out before the show. There's some of the older iconic gear sets that you can't get anymore on that vendor. Some of them are, I think all of them are set to adaptive, so you can wear them on any class.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them are legacy, some aren't. But some of these old sets, like the Hellfire set, the Vendetta set, in fact, I don't even know what these sets are that were called out. But some of the old cool sets. If you're looking for something, there might be some interesting things there that you go check out.
Yeah, I didn't know about it either until I saw the thread with the guys. It started, the beginning of the thread was the guy thanking BioWare for the effort. And then Ben Irving piped in saying, well, you're welcome, but AZ was the guy who did it. He stayed late, uh, because we really didn't have the resources to do it.
Hey, thanks
So,
for the effort. I don't know why I said that.
and then there's one more thing about the forums. There's this thread started by Chris Schmidt, asking what weapons you would like to see a weapon tuning's modification slot on. And I was going to say, pop into the thread and list your favorite weapon, but skimming through the thread, I'm pretty sure you're covered.
Yes. So
Yeah,
don't pop in the
everyone has their
thread
favorite.
and name your favorite weapon. Pop
Oh,
into
you
the
can if you
thread
want. I'm
and
just saying.
name my favorite weapon. So,
Yeah, Max's favorite. Max, what would be your favorite?
oh, actually, don't. This is what I just said before the podcast, and we were prepping. It's actually not my favorite. I just happened to look whatever I happened to be holding in my hand and said that one. so,
Right.
so I happened to be using the Kingpin's blaster pistols on my mercenary, which I do like. They're because they've got the little laser coming out of them. So if they were also on fire, or sparking with lightning, but I really want the on fire tuning. I want them to invent that, for one. For two, I want them to give me that on my Kingpin blaster. So there. So pop
So
into the
this
thread and say
Womp
that
Rat.
for Max. Thank you. That Womp Rat is
Yes.
terrifying, by
We'll
the
get
way.
right on it.
That Womp Rat
I
mount.
know. This is one of the mounts that I unlocked
It is
this week.
disturbing.
It is. I feel like I'm controlling him by pulling on his nostrils.
Those are his teeth. Those are like pulling on his molars. That's or not molar.
I
but
know, but it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little bit
Ooh.
like his nose. In guild and
I hope I
community
never
news,
run into.
we had a fun
Oh, yes.
mandatory fun night. So it's a little different. We didn't really talk about it, so this is also news. We're trying a trial here for a few weeks at least, potentially permanently, but we'll see how much it actually works. Of moving the podcast to Tuesday nights. We'll do our mandatory fun night with our guild. We'll stream some of that. Then we'll switch over and we'll get into the podcast. I am liking the idea of being on a Tuesday night instead of a Monday night to fit in better with the release schedule and the news schedule and all of that. We've had to a couple times switch our podcast to Tuesday just because there was something really big coming and we wanted it to get in on it. And then we were thinking, well, there's no magic really to Monday nights. If we can swing it after mandatory fun night and make it work, we may stick with the Tuesday night. So keep an eye out for that on Twitter and we'll keep you updated. Also, in our guild, we will continue with the Tuesday night mandatory fun night. I think this weekend we got bumped on Saturday. We were supposed to have our GSF night this past weekend, and it got bumped for some little movie or something or other that came out. The
Yeah.
Captain Europe or
Some tiny
or
little
something like
indie
that.
flick called Civil War.
Look up Captain Europe by Pistol Shrimp on YouTube if you want to see something funny.
Okay.
But Captain America, yes, came out, and people seem to like it. So there's that. But we had to postpone our GSF night. It will most likely be this Saturday. We'll confirm in our forums, and we'll tweet it out. Hopefully we can do that and do some of that, as we said, instructional coaching, walk through the tutorial, have fun with people that just want to try out GSF even for the first time. And I had one other note. So pause for just a second because now I don't see it in my notes. I think it might have gotten deleted.
It's
in
a
our
secret
switchover.
note.
Let me get it. So we had some feedback on our last podcast. A nice little note. Yes, there we go. Thank you. Lambert Kubrick replied in a note in the last podcast and said, hey, remember collection unlocks when you do get a chance to do those are not only legacy wide, but they're also in the entire account wide, which is a really good tip. I have switched servers from time to time or like transferred a character over. having those legacy unlocks be across your account and cross server is really handy. So I moved a character over to, I don't know, I did. I'm sure I did one to Harbinger, so I could play through Teeny Cast guys, and Shadowlands. I think um, uh, is where the passionately casual podcast is based, and I went and played with those guys, and being able to spin up a character and still have like my jetpack mount and my cool gear sets is really handy. So thank you, Lambert, for posting that note in YouTube. What else, Seema?
Oh, well, just in general, if you're looking to run with an ops team, I would say check on Friday nights on the imp side, or of course, that's if you were looking for a team to join. For our open op night, that is our mandatory fun night on Tuesday nights. We usually do some kind of ops content. Uh, Tonight we did, we attempted Nightmare Pilgrim,
Mm-hmm.
and we did Taboro's Courtyard, but last week or the week before, we did um, the Ravagers, and it's very fun. I mean, even though the content you may have done before, it's a big group of people, and not everybody's done Ops before, so it's a lot of fun.
Yes.
Kind of a free for all. Monday nights, there's a team running on the pub side that sometimes will need an alt. Same on Wednesday nights and Thursday nights, which is the team that Max and I run with. Occasionally we'll need alts as well, so always worth checking if you're looking for something to do ops-like on those nights.
Yes. And what if, by chance, for the couple people that in the universe that may not be in AIE, what should those people do, Seema?
Well, if they're in the universe and they're not in AIE, we're always looking for new members on Jedi Covenant. We're part of a bigger guild, Alea Iacta S, which is a large family-friendly guild that crosses many games. On SWTOR, we have guilds both on the Republic and the Imperial sides, as you heard me talk about on the ops teams. If you want to know more about the guild as a whole, you can look up info on aie-guild.org. If you would like to come and join us on Jedi Covenant, and we wish you do, we hope you do, you can catch us in game by joining a channel called AIE LFO. So just type /cjoin AIE LFO and say hi. Best times to do that are the evenings, by the way.
Yes, especially on some of those ops nights. Then we're always around. Or catch us on Twitter, and we can try to hook you up that way as well. Thank you, chat room. Oh, there's my note on Lambert Kubrick. Doe. Right there in the notes. Thank you, chat room. Thank you, Lambert. It's great catching up with everybody in the chat room before and after as well. Feel free to continue to send in those community news items as well. If there's something that you've heard that some other guild is doing or a server event that's going on, send those in. I'd love to talk about those as well. But with that, Brunmark, why don't you introduce the segment for us tonight? Why, thank you. And, first mini spoiler, we might be hearing from Brunmark in the next chapter. But before we get to that, why don't we talk a little bit about the producer's stream? So they had another producer stream. I do like these. We are getting some good basic information. They're sort of expanding what they're doing in terms of shout outs to people, talking about the sort of the state of the galaxy, what's actually going on. They talk about the current chapter. They talk about any other events that are going on, and they talk about the next chapter. And they did another shout out this week that we'll talk about for community contributions, which was nice. So anything hit you under State of the Galaxy, Seema? Why don't we run through that and anything interesting that you saw there when they walked through that?
Well, they did mention about the connectivity issues and that it was resolved pretty quickly, which is true. They also mentioned that they're taking aggressive actions against cheaters and win traders as far as ranked PvP, which I guess is welcomed by all.
Right.
It's just a continuation of their pattern of doing that, which I think is good. Um, they also kind of teased us with a chapter 14 note that says there's a combo choice in there that allow the players to try and make a Wookiee noise. And it sounds like it's going to be pretty awesome because the voice actors actually each voice actor was did their attempt at making a Wookiee sound. So I'm kind
That
of looking forward
is
to that. In
hilarious.
fact, I thought it was going to happen in the chapter I just played, and I kept thinking, oh, it can't be over yet because I haven't heard the Wookiee sound.
I
Oh, maybe it is in chapter 13. Oh, I must have
um
just given the wrong answer to something. Dang it.
yeah, I guess we'll have to look that up and find that. I was thinking Timothy Omenson, but he doesn't do one of the main class characters, so he
No,
wouldn't
he doesn't.
be
He
having
probably
that.
could do a flawless Wookiee.
Yeah. Well, we'll call him up. Tim, I'll call Tim and have him do one custom for us. So how about that?
And they did a contest, a live contest for the chat room that's there. So, I mean, that's one reason for trying to make it like I watched it on YouTube, but um, if you can make it live, I guess you can. They do have kind of a pattern of doing these contests, so it might be worth it for that. And
Yep.
they gave away a vehicle of some sort.
Yeah, they do some stuff in the chat, and then you can also, spam 50 times a minute in chat. When do we get new operations over and over and over, because that's always
Right.
constructive. But you can see,
I
the
actually don't
live
understand why
feedback
people do that because I don't think it's ever worked ever in any game.
no, but you can't hold back your team spirit, Seema. Just gotta let it burst forth.
Okay.
So they had some other things on that, that voting thing that went on, and they did talk about the collection unlocks, which are now over, but were very
I
useful.
know,
So
sad.
keep an eye out for them when they come back. They do those periodically, and it is a great opportunity to use. That's a great use of cartel coins. That's always been my favorite use of cartel coins is for legacy unlocks. So. Community contributions were called out. They did talk about some podcasters, UtiniCast and SWTORista being on UtiniCast. They did a cool episode about how the alliance system works, which was awesome. And those guys are both the UtiniCast guys are awesome, and so is SWTORista. If you can catch the video of the most recent UtiniCast episode for May the 4th as a special, they did it in RP character dressed in costumes. So that is spectacular. That's a highlight. They also called out a couple things. Tour Fashion, which is it is a really cool website if you're trying to look to put an outfit together. You want to see what the pieces look like. In fact, if you want to look up those sets that are mentioned on the new Legacy vendor, that would be a place to go check them out. And I guess,
Right, or if you just want ideas.
yeah. I guess the new tunings are up on there now too, which is quite useful.
Well, she did specifically. Tour Fashion did a video that shows the available weapon tuning on every weapon that you can put it on right now. So it's a pretty long video, but you can see it on just about every weapon.
Nice. I need flames. Say it over and over. If I was in the chat room for the stream, that's what I would be saying over and over. When can we get flames as a weapon tuning? Eric.
Again, you're ignoring
Eric.
me, Eric.
Why do you continue to turn this chat room into a house of ignoring? I don't know what I just said. They also called out a YouTube video maker and streamer who I really like is Vulk. He's been doing them for quite a while. VULKK. I like his accent. I like the videos. He's real straightforward and he puts together good summary videos, walks through chapters, walks through content, does a bunch of cool stuff. So he did a thing on Bodar and the Eternal Championship.
And this video in particular, the Bodar and the Eternal Championship one, it's basically an hour-long video, and he goes through the entire Eternal Championship. And if you're struggling with some boss or whatever, you could definitely pick up some pointers by watching this.
Nice, excellent. The last one that they mentioned, I hadn't heard of before, so I'll have to look him up. It was a guy who made a video, right? Did you
Yep.
did you watch it?
XIII. No, I did not.
Okay.
I have not.
Ex
But he made a
Latalis.
video about chapter XIII,
Yes.
and they liked it,
Yes, they did. In
so
addition
they
to him
featured
being complimentary of the chapter,
him. Yes.
they say that that was not the only reason that they picked it, that it was also a really well done video. So there's that.
And then, there was this NVIDIA contest. Um, it was between NVIDIA and SWTOR to kind of show off that shadow play feature of NVIDIA that you can have. And they announced the winners of that, and the first place winner was Fees, and the second place winner was something called Build Your Alliance, and they played the second place winner. It actually was pretty professional. I thought it looked professional. I mean, it was like a 3 or 4 minute trailer basically for coffee, but the scenes that they put together and the snippets of voiceover that they did, it would really make you want to play coffee. It was really good. They didn't play the first place one because they had played it earlier,
Hmm.
when the contest was young, because it had surfaced as an early. I mean, just coincidentally they had already played it, so they didn't want to play it again.
Right.
And then the third place is Mortal Mandolin, which I have not. I love that name, but I haven't seen that one yet. But yeah,
Excellent. So that's cool. I also heard from Peters during Mandatory Fun Night tonight that NVIDIA is potentially putting out a new series of graphics cards going to exceed the 970 and 980 that are currently at the top of the line graphics cards from them at this point. So get your wallets ready, start saving up. I imagine those are going to be hundreds and hundreds of dollars.
new drivers for everyone.
And new drivers. My drivers are, that means my 970 is completely obsolete now. But I expect, especially because of the onset of VR headsets and the new Oculus Rift, that those more powerful cards are going to be of interest to at least some subset of the gaming community. They did call out the June subscriber rewards and what they are going to be. It's not okay. So I did take a look at it. It's that Eternal Empire Patroller Speeder, which looks really cool,
Yeah.
and I like it. Well, it's not a it's not
Nothing to do with
it's not an
HK.
HK speeder where you get to ride on HK's burnt out
Head like
chassis.
Yeah, right.
No more defiling his corpse. Picking over his dead body and looting it. Oh,
I think it's a cool speeder too. I'm kind of looking forward to it.
and of course, as the subscriber reward, as if you're subscribing by June 1st, is the early access to Chapter XIV.
Mandalore the Avenger.
Yes, intriguing title. I don't think they've talked too much about that part of it, but intriguing. Mandalore the Avenger. And what about May 4th rewards? I think they talked about that too, right?
Yeah, for May 4th, which was last week, if they offered a free trial of Chapter 1, so the first one is always free, trying to get people into coffee. Um, there was an astromech droid everyone got who logged in. Actually, you didn't have to log in precisely on the 4th, but if you logged in on the 4th, that's when you got it, and then I think you can get it anything up to the end of May. Also kicked off double XP. I don't know what Legacy XP is.
Legacy points.
Oh, so you get more Legacy. Oh, that's interesting. More Warzone comms,
Yeah,
space PvP requisitions from May 3rd to May 10th.
yeah.
Oh, and then again at
GSF.
the end of the month, May 26th to 30th.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
GSF
GSF. Okay.
requisition, which is useful points to get in GSF. So if you are into GSF or you want to get into, that's a good opportunity to get a bunch of requisition, which is what you use to buy either unlock new ships or unlock ship parts. So that's pretty cool.
So on the solo speedrun, I guess you have to actually enter on the website. I thought you just had to go really, really fast through the Eternal Championship, but I guess there is an actual enter thing that you have to do on the website. Again, first place is pretty awesome. So if you want to go to London and see Star Wars Celebration there,
That would be
go
really
really, really
cool.
fast through Eternal Championship.
That would be cool. I
And then
don't
also
expect that I
there's
could
a
do it, but I would love to go. I'd love to go to London first. Number one, I'd love to go to London. Number two, I'd love to go to London and go to Star Wars Celebration, but I love London.
there's also a contest for the rest of us, which is called the Story So Far contest. It just means finish chapter 13 in May. And they'll be drawing 5 winners every 5 days. So basically, to be eligible for these drawings, you only have to have finished chapter 13. So, for instance, I finished chapter 13 today, and today is in May, so I'm eligible for these drawings. And I kind of have this plan in my mind that my trooper, my commando that just turned 65, if I can get him through chapter, why do I say him? Her through chapter 13 by the end of May, that would be nice too. It's because my original trooper is a him, but this is a new trooper. She's a she.
Excellent.
But anyway,
So
yes.
there's no going to the website and clicking to make sure that you get entered into that.
Nope. On
Okay.
that one, all you have to do is finish chapter 13 in May.
Excellent. And then they finish with a little discussion and a teaser of chapter XIV, Mandalore the Avenger.
Yes, and we'll see. Well, I mean, they
So
gave a teaser,
mini
so
spoiler
we're
here.
gonna,
So
yeah,
So from here we're
we're
going
gonna
to talk
touch on
about a
what
little
they
bit
said.
of what they showed as the teaser, and we're going to go into then we'll go into XIII and talk a little bit about the story in more detail and what our impressions were from there. So you can decide at this point if you want to stay away from those spoilers and hit pause now. Okay.
So they mentioned that in the next chapter, chapter 14, Mandalore the Avenger, we will see the ever popular Shae Vizsla
Yes, I was
and
excited about that. I like her.
Torian. And they even said, and I know a lot of you are not excited about Torian, but I am. They did say that if you play a female bounty hunter and you were in romance with Torian, that there is a pretty cool scene or some interactions coming up between that female bounty hunter and Torian. So hopefully that means that Torian will be back, which I'll be happy for because I am that female bounty hunter.
Hmm.
This is my chapter.
Yes, I guess so. But that seems like a relatively narrow statement of something to look forward to. I mean,
It's no more narrow than getting weapon tuna slots on your gear.
I guess no, because I mean, every pistol owner, every blaster pistol player in the game is you have to be a female, and you have to have romance Torian, and you have to, I don't know. It seems relatively narrow.
I
Who
think
gives?
it's
Who
ideal.
cares about Torian? Nobody cares. Shae Vizsla.
And
Oh,
also,
could we get
they
Shae
said
Vizsla as
something
a
about
companion? Oh, that would be awesome. I'm sure we can't because she's too
no.
independent, but
Yeah.
that would be cool. Can we romance Shae Vizsla? Maybe I don't need Mako to come back.
Oh
Wink,
my
wink,
God.
nudge, nudge. Say no more.
They said something about uncovering the secret mechanism controlling the Eternal Fleet.
It's a giant steering
Uh,
wheel.
but also Torian,
Also, but there's
And
also
then
Torian, guys. Guys, there's Torian.
the chapter will have some cool music. I found the music pretty cool in all the chapters, so I don't know why they would say this unless it's,
Yeah.
noticeably cooler.
I wonder, have we heard from the musical talent who drives the music production for
I have
SWTOR?
not. I would like to.
I know like Russell Brower is quite a personality from Blizzard's perspective and sort of the artist behind a lot of their music, which is
Yep.
spectacular. It'd be cool to find out if there's some personality like that behind what BioWare does with sound and music.
Yeah, I mean, I've listened to Russell Brower talk, and at this point, and I can find this very believable, but he's got like a whole staff of composers, and he talked a little bit about their process. So it would be great to see some, you know, look at how BioWare does that too.
Yeah, well, Russell Brower is also just an amazing, cool guy too. So
Yeah, he is.
there's that.
Then, the recruitment mission for chapter 14 is going to be, yeah,
Yes, it will be you, Broodmark.
Broodmark,
The
which
vicious
which has
talisman
prompted a lot
warrior.
of people to say, but why? Where's Mako?
What? I like Broodmark, but I won't ever pull him out as a companion.
No, I don't dislike Broodmark, but he is a violent, bloody, violent, revenge-ish person thing, hairy thing.
Yes,
So
he's
yeah,
yeah, he's I mean, he tends towards dark side, not because he's evil, but because that's just his deal. He's always been sort of bent on revenge in his original story, and it sort of fit well in doing that. Oh, look at that big sword that he's got.
yeah, it's a
It's
huge
not the
sword.
size that
Like
counts.
a number of people said, yeah, screw Broodmark, I want the sword.
Yeah, can we use that? Can we equip that? Okay, all right, I promise. Yes, fine. I will bring you out as a companion if I get to use your sword. Hey, Broommark, can I borrow your sword? We shall see. So that was sort of the sum up of the producer live stream. Again, I'm glad they're doing it. I like these. Continue to do it, please. Chat room, be nice to them during the stream so they continue to do it.
Yes.
And our chat room, be nice too. Someone in the chat room, DP Roberts, is saying that Mako's dead. No. Lies. I'm going to put my fingers in my ear and yell la 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 so I can't hear you. So let's talk about XIII. You ran this through the story. I ran through the story. So let's kick it off with just general impression, and then we can get into a little bit of the spoilery type stuff that I thought was cool too. Did you like it?
I enjoyed it. Yeah, I thought it was entertaining. Yeah, I totally was taken aback by there's a scene or a section where you have both Vet and Galt as companions.
Yeah. Yes.
So
And
that was
Vet's
kind of,
temporarily running around with that massive gun and having a ball.
and I mean I enjoyed it, but I kind of see what the problem is for them in having more than one companion out because, you know, the second companion was kind of was doing that that AI you get when you get your companion before there's the real companion. They just shoot whatever they feel like and
Yeah.
they aggro whatever there's. That's kind of what the second companion was doing here. But yeah, it was fun, and that was a ton of fun. Yeah,
So did you
and
like
her relationship with Spewy.
Spewy? Bye, Spewy. I'll always remember you. Anyone who names their weapon Spewy, that is cool. So did you like that better than Galt?
Oh yeah,
Really? Because
yeah.
I got a huge kick out of Galt. I like Galt. I really like I like Galt even more now. I liked Galt in the original story, and I don't know. I get a kick out of Galt. I would partner with Galt in real life. I would do business with that dude. I would want to hang with him and go to a bar and have some drinks, and hang with him. I like Galt.
Well, that would work out because you can have him.
Really? You're not a big fan of Galt?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like his style of conversing. He's funny and everything, but I would never trust him further than I could throw him.
Really?
So no, I
Even
would not want
after
to
like
partner with him.
the sweet little closure on the Hilo Viz story, and the little romance on the side there. That was, I mean, that's showing like a real sort of sweet underside to Galt, that loyalty, and he's held the candle, held a flame for her forever, and I don't know, he's a great guy. I think it's all a front, and he's a really nice guy, and
Maybe it is all a front, but I remember when he was on my team, he was usually just doing things for reasons of benefiting Galt.
yes,
Sort of like what's his name on
but he always
the
gives you a cut. So there's that.
Commando team.
um,
The one that we've met already, and
on the trooper side, you mean?
yeah, on the trooper side. Sorry.
Yeah, he's a little bit like what's his name? Um, the Cardassian from Star Trek.
Yes. Anyway,
Chat room, help
sure
us
will come
out.
to us.
Who's the trooper dude with the gray skin and is the from Star
He
Trek?
was also like a criminal, like Galt.
Yes.
Um,
Underside smuggler-ish, cutting backroom deals, black market.
yeah.
Yeah.
But the troopers doesn't get him back. Well, actually, I think Bounty Hunter didn't get Galt back either. But
Yeah, can we not so we don't get Galt back? Well,
you know,
we don't get
it's
Galt
kind
as
of funny.
general
It's like
companion.
with my new trooper. I really like her, and I'm kind of resistant to starting the story because I don't want to lose all my companions.
Right. Well, you can always I haven't done it yet, but you can always go to that
Yes,
terminal.
Tanovic, thank you.
Yes, Tanovic. Thank you, Sapphire. You can always go to that terminal in your Odessan base and get them back ahead of time.
I know.
So I have not done it yet. Have you done that with any?
No, somehow that doesn't seem
It feels like
rewarding
cheating,
to me.
doesn't it? So
Yeah.
So we
But
had
I think that's an unintended result of the choices matter
yeah,
storyline thing that
especially since
they
it's been so long, and like Mako.
yeah.
Mako's been gone, and it's been a long time. Her name did come up in the story. I noticed they do talk about her a little bit, but it's not like my character said. So I mean, well, I played it as the bounty hunter, and he asks Galt about it. He says something like, "Oh, did Mako take it hard? You know, I feel bad I wasn't there for her." But then it's not like I follow up and say, "So I'll go look for her," or like send her an email. I could just continue to be like, "Nah."
And I said, I don't believe you. Torian would never stop looking for me. And he said, oh, he didn't. He's still out there trying to defeat the Eternal Empire by himself.
Yeah, I guess. So you get to your boyfriend's back.
Boyfriend, he's my husband.
Boyfriend's back, and he's gonna be in trouble.
Right.
Most of this was this whole heist against the treasury, and I liked that. I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was a clever plot device, how they like vaporized it and sucked out the
Sucked
out the
I like that a
atmosphere,
lot. And I'm
and
glad that it worked too, because I was worried that it wouldn't work.
it did work. And Valen was mad.
Oh my gosh, yes, she's
She
mad.
was angry, and she was angry at her mom. Darn it, Mom. But I thought the response from those two was a little bit tepid. I mean, it was like, "Oh, I'm so mad. Yeah, I'm mad too, but I'm gonna sit here on my throne and say something in a low, gravelly voice, and they will suffer." Whatever. And then isn't it? I mean, he didn't like do anything. He didn't like get up and go, "Send out the fleets. I want their heads." Nothing. I don't know. So I thought that was a little weak, but the fun part of the heist and the like little Mission Impossible moment with Vet hanging upside down, and the funny parts with like the big missile and Vet popping out of it and like messing with you over the speaker. That was pretty good.
Yeah. The funny thing to me is that I stood there.
Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean,
you do. You just sort of stand there with like a look on your face, like, "Yeah, guess I'm gonna blow up here."
yeah, I mean, there was one option where I could have said run, but I wasn't going to say that. So
But I
I just
I
let
don't
the
think that you do run though. Maybe you tell everyone else to run, and then you just
probably
stand
not.
there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah. But
Because it would
yeah.
ruin the joke if you ran. So that was cool. But then they finish off at the very end with a little bit of a wrap up of chapter XIII, where Kaleo and our pal Jorgen come back, and they're was mostly a failure of the mission. They didn't get what they were looking for in trying to get the keys to the communication system that controlled the Eternal Fleet. They did get close. They did get something useful that you see. I didn't get fully the deal of what it was. It was some sort of memory core. It had a bunch of good information on it of some kind. I just sort of played through that. So here's we're getting extra spoilery. I sort of played through that, played it straight, like, my good guy that I am. Hey, we'll do better next time. Well, yada, yada, yada.
It's partially my fault. I shouldn't, blah, blah, blah,
I think
blah.
I did put my foot down and say, you guys have to work better together. Because I'm all about the teamwork, Hey, team.
I tried to fire her.
Really?
But then after I did that, I had to escape out and do it over again. Because then I got scared what she would do if she wasn't with us.
That how she... Okay, so if you... Spoiler, and I didn't realize this until I saw it. Oh, I have it here up on my screen. It's sitting right here. If you go full dark side, you can gun her down. And look at her face. Look. Can you see that in that little clip there? It's a little bit dark. So you get to the very end. So
Yeah.
I mean, it's sort of sad. So the very beginning, Jorgen is like looking over. I didn't realize this. I missed this in the initial clip when I was playing through. That's flags draped over coffins. That's the dead.
Yeah,
the dead team
four
member.
people died.
So he was pretty upset about that. And it's somewhat justified.
Yeah.
I don't know that was all necessarily directly Khalio's fault. But you can go off on Khalio and say, failure will be punished. And she says to you, well, what are you going to do? Shoot me? And then, oh, look at that. Look at her. Look at her face. That's the saddest thing I've ever seen. A little creepy doll there.
See, that's what's always upset me the most about Khalio is that she doesn't think her actions, she never thinks that her actions deserve the repercussions she gets. And that bugs me.
And she never thinks things through, Missy. Now go to your room. But, deep down, she's just she's a little bruised.
She's just a needy little
and look at
whatnot.
that. Then the mask is pulled away and she is, sort of sad. That's right after she took a blaster bolt to her gut. After you gun her down, there she is, falling
Ouch.
down. Hit, she bounces off the deck. Boom. Down, boom goes the dynamite. There's Khalio. I thought that was relatively dark, and everybody else sort of looks at you and goes, "Huh?" Except not really Lana. She just, did you see that glare too?
Yeah, Lana's
Lana's
such
just
a
like,
pragmatist.
I mean, she's dark side and Sith. Sometimes.
Well, and the reason Lana is dark side is that she prizes efficiency over anything else. So she would see the point.
Yeah.
She would see the advantage of doing it.
Yep. With her yellow eyes. So I thought that was surprising. I did not obviously get that in my story because I'm not dark side. But so there's a choice that matters. You can go that way. So this is one of, this gets back to, and we've talked about this in previous chapters, when they talk about the choices that matter. I'm not, so I know now that they are in there, but I'm not seeing it. And I guess it's really hard. And I guess it's a hard challenge because I'm not feeling like I'm really getting choices that matter, except I guess unless you play through it and try other choices. So you see what the difference is. And if
that's
I'm
right.
sort of
That's
playing
the only
through
way
it
you
the
could
same
see the
way,
difference because,
yeah.
right. Unless they presented it like this, where it said, like on that video that you just showed, it would show, banish Cleo in one corner, kill Cleo in another corner. If you just choose fire Cleo or whatever, I mean, yeah.
Right. If it was more obvious,
you just choose what you choose. You don't know whether it made a difference, whether it would have been different if you chose something else.
Now I see in the chat room. No, this goes further, and now so we're deep down the rabbit hole. Look at this. killing Jorgen.
Right.
I didn't realize you could
See,
do that.
now that, to me, that goes back to just making it not matter, right? Because killing Cleo at least makes a little bit of sense because she messes up everything she touches. But if you can kill Eric Jorgen as well, then it's sort of that just makes it seem oh random, pick one and pick the other. Because why? Because he was too much of a rule follower?
You dishonored Havoc Squad. I can't trust you. I won't have you disrupting my operations any further. Something, something, something. So I guess there is, you lay out some sort of justification about why his failure is compounded by we don't have a brig. Here it comes. Look, even Cleo's surprised at that one. Yikes. Oh, I'm not even showing it on the right screen. Nobody can see what I'm talking about. Here I am watching it. And anyway, so I guess it's a similar scenario. Oh, like he sort of falls in the same body pose too as
But
Cleo.
failure of the mission, I mean, how many other missions have failed too? I mean,
She's mad.
I guess if you're a super dark side person, then you kill people who fail.
Yeah.
And I guess that's what it's.
Yeah, that's how I deal with people who family. No exceptions for anyone. Understood. Well, why don't you get to gun down Cleo then too? That would be
Yeah.
That would be part of it. But I'm still not
And Sarah
seeing.
and John has failed.
They did allude to, just to sort of put a cap on that. They did allude to past decisions coming home to roost. Have you noticed any of that? I haven't really noticed that either.
Again, how would we know?
I
mean,
guess, yeah.
because unless
I go
guess
back
if
and
we-
play it from chapter 1 again and make a whole bunch of different decisions and compare. So it's a challenge. I mean, how do you have a narrative, even with a choose your own adventure narrative, where it's still a single thread from my eyes and my experience. So, my choices are mattering. I guess I just need to believe that my choices are mattering and then try it different ways if I wanted to see some of the different outcomes. Oh, and Middle is saying in the chat room that there's only a certain setup that allows you to have those choices. So that's interesting as well. So I guess it's out there, and it's all part of their plan to have choices matter. And if you have the master overview, you have sort of the blueprint of where all the stories go and what all the choices can do. It's probably very obvious to them where all of the choices are that matter and how the different outcomes can get you to different places. But yeah, it's a challenge for us in a little bit. I'm not overly disappointed. I'm not coming out of each chapter going, "Where's my choices?" So it's not mattering to me because I'm still enjoying the content. But I could see people still questioning the choices that matter if they're not going through and seeing that from that perspective. So anything else? What's your to wrap it up? Looking forward to XIV. You're looking forward to saying
Yeah.
XIV?
Yeah, I am.
As much as I am.
I am. I think the lesson I learned this time for me, just personally, is I waited a few days to play the chapter, and I missed the producer stream. I think I would make more effort to play the chapter right away next time, and more effort to see this producer stream. It's rough because they do it during the day on a Wednesday, but
Yeah.
try anyway.
I've been live for a couple of live streams, and I've been recorded for a couple. It is sort of exciting to be in there live and see them roll with it. So that's cool. All right. Well, I think with that we can wrap it up. Thank you all. Our little EPC 142 droid here is ready to head out, and don't come back, Mister, until Mako's back at least, and then still you're not allowed back. Keep broadcasting. Thanks to all of you for joining us on newoverlords.com, on iTunes, YouTube, or live on Twitch. We'll stream again next Tuesday night on twitch.tv/newoverlords, around 10:30 p.m. Central. Please follow us on Twitter at MaxTheGray and at AIESEMA. Please subscribe on YouTube. And come find us on Jedi Covenant and ask for an AIE Guild invite. We would love to have you. And we'll talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.